So a few weeks ago there was the DME videos that were going around on YouTube, and I decided that I wanted to do one for myself. I know I did a letter to my 18-year-old self not that long ago, but I thought this one would be a more general one that's just to all of the past Laurens that there have been, and just something for me just to say. So here you go. Hello Lauren. Wow, that is a really strange thing to say. I'm talking to myself. I'm doing this in a more personal way than some of the DME videos have been. You are part of me, and it's very strange to try and talk to the past. It's kind of like using hindsight to make the best decisions that I can, but I can't go back and change it, and if I did, then maybe I wouldn't have this hindsight, and maybe my life would not be how I want it to be right now. I never really had any problems when I was growing up, so there's nothing to say like, oh don't worry, you'll come out of this problem, or this problem will be fine in the end, because I never really had that. The main thing I had was when I was younger, I was a bit of a loner. I had friends, but I didn't spend a lot of time with them, and I suppose in a way that it's a bad thing and a good thing, and I don't want you to feel bad for me about it, because yeah, sometimes I look back and I feel like I could have made more of an effort, but the type of person that I am, I just find it difficult to maintain friendships. Like, I will go off the grid for a while. I might be online and all over the internet like I always am, but I will go off the grid and just won't really speak to someone for ages, and then the longer I leave it, the more I feel bad about not speaking to that person, and I really need to get over that. It's like some sort of weird anxiety problem where it's like, oh god, I've not spoken to them in ages, but slowly I'm getting over that. And I suppose that's one thing to say, is that you will suddenly be able to start talking to people who you've not spoken to for a while, and it might feel a bit awkward to you, but that doesn't mean it's awkward to someone else, and that's what you need to remember. Just because you feel awkward doesn't mean that the other person feels awkward. They might be really happy that you finally sent a message after Christ knows how long. So even though you do feel awkward about it, don't let it get you down too much, because the people who really know you know how you are, and they want to talk to you even if you've not spoken to them for months, and you will be able to talk to some friends, and you will be able to act as if no time has passed at all, and you'll realise that all these weird awkward feelings that you were having were just in your head, and it wasn't anything that was happening around you. The other person didn't think anything. You created a lot of bad situations for yourself. Another main problem that I had was not getting enough sleep, and it wasn't through lack of trying, although some days it was if I was sat up until 5 in the morning reading, but there was a lot of times, and there is still a lot of times, where I don't sleep and I find it difficult to fall asleep, and then if I do fall asleep, I'll normally wake up a few times during the night, and it does become more manageable. You can start to function, and now people don't realise that you only function after 5 or 4 hours sleep a night, which is either a really good thing or a really, really bad thing. But take comfort in the fact that it's not too horrible. But just make sure you don't sleep for more than 9 hours, because every time you do, you get a migraine, and these migraines are horrific, and you have to stay in bed for like 12 hours, and you can't read, you can't watch TV, you can't look at a phone, you can't talk to anyone, you have to sit in the dark and sleep. So we're having a ban. We're having a ban on sleeps that last longer than 9 hours. That is no longer happening for us, and as much as we enjoy the feeling of sleeping and just laying in bed, we're going to have to get up before the 9-hour mark and do something, even if it's just waking up, staying in bed and reading. But it's something that we need to change, because the migraines are getting ridiculous, and I know you don't like them, and I still don't like them, and they are horrible and disgusting, and I wish they didn't exist, but it's something that it's intrinsic to us. We've always had them and we'll always have them, but maybe we should just cut back on the sleep. that's probably a good thing, because then we don't waste as much time during the day as well. Like, we can go out in the sun and not sit in bed thinking, oh god, I've wasted all my day, because we do that. We do waste a lot of time, and we waste a lot of time just online as well. I'm not going to say stop procrastinating or don't use certain websites when you're trying to do things, because I know it won't work. I know you too well. We are the same. I know you so well. So all I'm going to say is just stop feeling bad for it. Don't feel bad. Do not feel bad for doing it, because you enjoy it, and although you shouldn't do it when you have other things to do, you can get the things done. But I would probably say just cut down a little bit, like try and stop it just a tiny bit, and instead of just sitting, I don't even know, you don't even do anything. You just sit there and refresh pages and waste hours. I don't know how so much time is wasted from it, but it is, and it's a nightmare at times, especially because you do so much travelling at the moment, having to commute, and we still waste time, and I still don't prioritise things. Although I am getting better, the prioritising is getting there. It's doing well, it's doing better than it used to. It's just a shame that it had to happen after I finished university instead of before. It would have been nice if I could have prioritised better at university, although in my last year I did a lot better than I had been doing. The main thing I want to say, really, to myself is don't give up. I know people say it and there's like not really much meaning behind it anymore. There's too much of a cliche and there's not really any idea, but I want to say don't give up, because if you give up on what you want to do, then you'll not be really happy with yourself. And even now we do fail at trying to finish writing our novel, but we haven't given up, we're still going. It's getting there, it's better than it was, because every time you do something you're improving it. And I think that's the same with everything. If you give up on something, then that's it, you can't get any better. But if you carry on and you continue to try and do the best that you can, and also if you try with whatever it is, as long as you don't give up, you're always going to improve. There's room for improvement everywhere. No one is ever the best. There's always going to be someone better than you, and it's something that you have to accept. And I know that you don't want to accept it, but it's true. There's always going to be someone better, and you're not going to be able to get close to them unless you practice and carry on doing something. If you just give up at the first hurdle, you won't be able to do anything. For an example, if I had given up making stupid videos, then I probably wouldn't have started making proper videos and vlogs and stuff, and I wouldn't have attempted to do a sketch a few weeks ago. But if you give up in the early stages, when you can tell there's no difference, then you waste all of the potential that could have been there before. And there's no words, I cannot describe how much that this wasted potential annoys me. Like, you stopped playing the violin, and you could have been so good at the violin now. I know that your teacher dropped you, but you could have found someone, you could have tried looking for a new teacher. And who knows, maybe now you could have actually played violin properly instead of doing screechy folk songs still and a rendition of Ode to Joy. And maybe if you hadn't just stopped writing, maybe the novel would have been finished, and maybe the second one would have been done by now, or at least planned. And I feel like there's just an intrinsic laziness to you, and I don't know how to overcome it. But I suppose admitting that it's there is always one of the better steps. It shows that I know it's there, and I'm trying to work around it. And I try to put off doing the things I really want to do, i.e. reading and playing video games, and using the internet, and do the things that I want to do but I know will take time to do. I think basically what I'm trying to say is be yourself, but don't be yourself, because the person who you are starts out a bit stupid, but if you give up, then you don't grow, and it's the growing that needs to be done, and you will, and it gets better. And I think what I want to say is just don't give up on yourself, and if you do give up on yourself, then you don't know what you could have been or what could have been. And if you do give up on yourself, you could end up spiraling into like some sort of weird crazy vortex of like self-hate and denial and all these other things from not doing something that you really wanted to do. So that was my Dear Me video. I hope you liked it, and if you did like it, then leave a like and a thumbs up on this video, because it's nice to know that the videos are appreciated. Also, I'll leave a link to the letter to my 18-year-old self in the description box below, with also links to all my social media, so you can socially acceptably stalk me, because I know you all want to. Who doesn't like a good like Facebook stalk or something like that? Also, don't forget to subscribe to my videos if you want to keep in touch. If you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing and also all the videos that I make. And I hope you're all well, and until next time, bye! This is the longest video I have ever actually filmed.